Hi, welcome to your introduction to collaborative instructional review. I wanted to pull something together just really quick before our meeting so you'd have just a little bit of background. We are very excited to be going through the instructional coaching process with you over the next several months. So at this point, you're probably wondering what exactly is CIR? Well, it is what the name implies. So collaborative instructional review, it's collaborative. You will be working with alongside really a team of teachers, some who are being observed, some who are doing the observing, as well as your admin team and instructional coach. Our focus is instructional, so it's all about identifying the best practices to meet the needs of your students, depending on the learning that they need at the time. And then it's a review where we will all get together, have an academic dialogue about what went on with your instruction, with the learning the students are having, and we learn with each other and from each other. So that's CIR in a nutshell. Now, you might be wondering, why do I need CIR? Not sure if I really want a team of people coming into my classroom and observing. Well, to put you at ease, I want you to take a moment and watch this video. It's called The Monkey Business Illusion. You may have seen it before, and that's okay. Just watch it with an open mind, follow the directions, see what you think.
The monkey business illusion. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla? For people who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half missed the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it. But did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game? Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold. When you're looking for a gorilla, you often miss other unexpected events. And that's the monkey business illusion.
Okay, so this was originally a psychology study from 1999. This is updated. They redid it in 2010. The original study just had the gorilla in it. And even though I knew there were going to be additional changes to the screen other than the gorilla walking across, I still missed the curtain change and the team member who walked off the stage. So what's the point here? The point is that we have selective attention. So if you imagine that that stage is your classroom and there's a gorilla that enters your classroom, how many times do we miss the gorilla? And even then, sometimes when you know about the gorilla, you pay so much attention to the gorilla, what other things are you missing? So what CIR does, having that team of instructional cohorts in there with you, that allows you a chance to be able to see some of the different things that might be going on that maybe we miss when we're in the room by ourselves because we look for things. Another way of looking at it, if you take a moment and just read this passage and see if you can figure out what this passage is telling you. Okay, so you've probably seen something like this before. We know that ultimately, as we're reading it, for the most part, our brains will fill in the gaps. So even though letters are jumbled, as long as the first and last letter are the same, your mind is able to, a lot of times, just readjust the letters to create the meaning because you know what that word is supposed to be. The same thing happens in our classrooms. If we are expecting something to happen, then our brain will try to fill in those gaps. So even though we don't necessarily see it, we might assume that we see it. CIR, again, having that team in there helps you to see things as they are, to see things through a different lens. So when we're talking about CIR, things to think about. It's an observation, but remember that this is just a snapshot. And when the team comes in, that's our thought process, is that this is a snapshot of instruction in our school, specifically through some different lenses. And we'll be talking about the rigor relevance framework. There are 3 lenses that we focus on. There's rigor. What level of rigor are we at? There's relevance. And then finally, learner engagement. So we're looking at 3 walkthroughs with specific focuses plus 1 that kind of pulls them all together. So CIR, what does it improve? Well, it's going to improve your student achievement because the focus is always starting with the learning and looking at the students. What are they getting out of your instruction? It's going to improve instructional effectiveness. Are we using the right tool at the right time for the level of learning that students need to achieve? It's going to improve your teaching because teaching, you're going to get all this different feedback from it. It'll help you see things that maybe you haven't seen before. And finally, it'll improve our capacity to have professional dialogue and to learn from each other. In the classroom visits, we're talking about 80% of our time we're watching the students. Only 20% is really watching the teacher because it's about the kids. It's a 3-phase process. So as we get ready for round 1, we'll start with preparing for instruction, and that will be basically a coaching session to sit down, look at your lesson plans, talk about ways we want to make sure we're achieving the right levels of rigor. Then we'll have a day of classroom visits where the observation team will come in and will come observe. And then that same day we'll end with professional dialogue, kind of like a fishbowl. We will just review and debrief how the instruction went that day and did it achieve what you were hoping it would. Okay, so again, 4 rounds. We'll have rigor, relevance, learner engagement, and then all the elements combined. And we are looking forward to working with you on this. Thanks.